goodness. Oh, goodness. Opened on Thursday with birdies on 9 of the final 12 holes. 63, tying a record set a decade ago by Nick Price. He leads by 5 right now. And here's Nick Faldo. Well, that's right in the David Frost area. But he's got a downhill line. He's a little farther away from the hole than was David Frost. To 17.
Phil Mickelson on the tee. 5 under now, 7 shots back of Norman.
Bob Tway.
They are driving longer here today, Jim, than I have ever seen them drive. They are just, look out,
well,
bunker there.
Yep.
They've been taking it past that bunker. Even Corey Pavin only had 121 yards, and he's not looked at as a long driver.
To 17.
David Frost. Players off the 17th tee, trying to maneuver the ball past Ike's tree. Loblolly pine, about 180 yards off the tee in the left center. Very rarely comes into play for these players. Back to 16.
And the applause of this enormous gallery for both Nick Faldo, but specifically for Greg Norman. Norman looking at a birdie at the 16th, and he has a 5-shot lead over Faldo, 7 over Mickelson and Frost.
So, he said he wants more control.
Oh boy.
Told me he's looking for faster response and more security.
Then he's leaving the firm.
No, he's getting a Cadillac DeVille.
Now DeVille is better than ever because now it has the North Star system and its extraordinary combination of comfort, safety, security, and performance.
59. It was his 5th straight round in competition here at the Masters in the 60s. It had never been done 5 times until Mr. Norman. Back out to you, Vern, 16.
Nick Faldo. That was really well done. And he was in a hurry to mark it. To 17.
David Frost has 131 yards.
Overall, it's right to left. It's just swirling now. Take another shot.
We've heard similar conversations over and over again through the 3 days this weekend. Tough to judge the wind in amongst the pines. Breeze is slightly helping from his right to left. And he expected the breeze to help bring that back in. It did not. Back to 16.
And Greg Norman, who began this day at 12 under par and finds himself there again. Not been an easy day. He's had to work, particularly on the greens. This for birdie. the lead is at least 6. How well has he putted? That's his 9th putt on the back 9. Extraordinary.
Vern, there has never been a poor putter ever win the Masters.
Faldo for par, to stay within shouting distance of his fellow competitor. Norman's lead is 7.
He has to feel like he's been hit by a train right now after starting at number 12. He just can't regroup.
Two holes remaining in the 3rd round, and Greg Norman increases his lead. He's up by 7 over Faldo and Mickelson, and we go to 17.
Moments ago, Phil Mickelson from 84 yards. Watch this. He backed away once when the roar went up from 16 as Norman's putt dropped. And Mickelson a tap in for birdie, the 11th of the day here at 17. And he moves into a tie with Faldo for 2nd, 7 shots behind the man teeing it up at 17.
Get your spot out there now. To your target. Good swing.
Constant reminder from Tony Navarro, his caddy. Norman, the leader, after 2 rounds in a major championship 5 times prior to this Masters. He's won only one of them. The '86 British Open. But his ultimate dream has always been to win this championship. See Ike's tree off the left side of the fairway. And that is perfectly down the right. He's hit it almost in the exact same spot 3 rounds in a row now. Last time Norman and Faldo played together in a major championship was the 3rd round of the 1990 British Open. Faldo shot 67, Norman 76. Faldo went on to win. Norman finished 6th. So if Faldo is looking for reason to have hope as he looks toward tomorrow, perhaps that's one glimmer. And that's perfect. Center cut. He'll have a short iron into the green. Norman by 7 now from Mickelson and Faldo on the 17th hole at Augusta.
That's one of the greatest putts I've ever seen.
desire for shelter from the storm. The basic human instinct to protect oneself and one's future by holding on to life's certainties. To someone, something that is always there, who will always care. For more than 130 years, Travelers Insurance has understood this basic need. And when people reach out, we are there for them. Some may want the experience of our independent agents, the strength of our assets, the security promised by our products. But no matter how they ask, all are looking for something as wise and understanding as a parent, as informed and responsive as a teacher, as strong and dependable as family. What they all want is what Travelers Insurance provides. Something to hold on to.
All right, welcome back to the Masters. Ken Venturi alongside, and let's cruise through some of the scores, Kenny. But first, Lee Janzen below us here had to back away. A gust of wind as he was standing over this putt for par.
Blew a bunch of hats off. Oh my. That may be the shortest putt you'll see missed all week. It's longer now. Coming in here at 3 under par, hit it over the green, chipped it back very nicely, and looked like just a tap in.
I really thought he was going to fire the first time. Then he just had to back away, steps back in.
Well,
and,
the course has won today, Jimmy.
He bogeys the last 2 holes, says Lee Janzen. Round of 75. Third round has always been his nemesis here. His first 4 trips back over to
Just
17.
right to left is what I got there. 134 total. 12 and 22. You got 5 steps behind the flag. I just think it's just right to left, right? Yes, Greg. It's a good swing on it, right at your target there.
Norman second of the par 4 17th. Should see the flag blowing right to left.
Right at your spot.
Pin back left today. Many have missed long over the green.
Stay right. Stay right.
Terrific shot. That might have been a little left of where he intended to hit it. You could hear Tony saying, stay right. And that certainly was the safer play to the right of the flagstick. Now Faldo has only 121 remaining. Needs a birdie, needs something to give him a jump start heading toward tomorrow. And he's inside Norman. Faldo and Norman each with birdie opportunity as we head to 18.
David Frost.
This is really difficult to get up and out of that bunker and get on the green. He can't get it all the way back. He would just like to get it on the front of the green, basically. He's 153 yards. He gets it up quick enough. Sounded heavy.
Like to do what Sandy Lyle did here in 88, but well short of the green.
Yeah.
He really did catch that heavy, Kenny.
Yes, he did. You know, had 153 yards. That is one shot like Sandy Lyle hit that there. It takes strength and be able to hit the ball high.
Yeah, exactly.
Jim Mackay, Phil's caddy, discussing wins and yardages.
It's a good draw sandwich, yeah.
117 yards, and he said he's pulled a stand wedge out.
He took that tee shot deep, but Scott McCarron, it's still hard to get over. He had only 90 yards to the hole.
With the sand wedge in his hand and being downwind, it'll take most of the spin off of it. Come down, ball. Come down. Got caught up in the wind and just floated right over the flag. That was an impressive shot he hit here yesterday, Jimmy. Around the tree, duck hook with that 4-iron was brilliant.
And with his touch, don't discount the shot coming up. He's birdied this hole the first 2 rounds to 17.
And Greg Norman lining up a birdie putt. Should he make it, it would be his 3rd straight birdie and his 5th in 6 holes. Ben Crenshaw, you know just about every putt on this course. Your thoughts on this one?
And there's no question it's in the best spot on the green that he could leave it. You know, he had the benefit of a little bit of an uphill lie on his 2nd shot to give him the confidence to go ahead and hit that ball in there. He's going through his routine, and he's hit. I'm so impressed with how solid he's hitting these putts right in the middle of the club face.
To get to 14 under.
Oh.
No.
He just hit it through the break. He hit it too solid.
I think anyone who's watched him play these 3 rounds would have bet on him to make that one to 18.
3rd shot for Frost. Up the slope.
Slow down. Hit that in low, and that just release, and he's just barely keeping it on the back of the green.
Down to 17.
And now an opening for a man who desperately needs one, Nick Faldo. Chance to pick up a stroke on Norman after Greg's miss.
You know, Sean, the one thing about it, he was taking a close look at Norman, because if he misses this, it's not because it's misread, it's because it's mishit, because he was on the identical line that Norman had.
From 5 feet. Faldo to 7 under, within 6 of Norman. He started the day 4 behind. Talking with David Ledbetter, his instructor, earlier today, said Nick has spent very little time hitting balls this week. Ordinarily, he spends endless hours on the practice range, but Faldo was so content with the way he'd been striking the ball, he spent very little time on the range. They might go back to the range after today's round. His birdie, the 12th here today. Now Norman trying to clean up for par. And Greg takes a 6-shot lead for the 18th tee. Through 53 holes in this tournament now, Norman with 18 birdies, 30 pars, and only 5 bogeys. 3 of those 5 bogeys today. And this was very nearly birdie number 19 in 53 holes for Greg, just past the right edge. To 18.
And Mickelson putting from off the green.
That's got to go. He has left himself a little testy one there.
On the tee, again, this hole playing downwind today. Faldo with the birdie, with the honors.
He needed that desperately because the two-shot swing at 16, and he felt there was going to be a two-shot swing probably at 12, and he came out of there even. And he had the wind taken out of his sails on 13, then 15. Norman had the layup. Still makes birdie. What you want to do there is he's on the right-hand side of the tee, so he's going to try to cut it more. If you get more on the left, you kind of hit the shoot, but this one here, you take it at the right-hand tip of that bunker and try to cut it around there. That is the way you play it. Absolutely perfect.
Just as you asked.
Well, when you're talking about talent, it's easy to call it. They're playing so well. All Norman is now with the lead he has, he just has to just punch in the button, put on cruise control, and just don't take his hands off the wheel.
You know, Kenny, I know there are favorable winds today, but it's been interesting to see this year, all 3 rounds, everybody's just unloading driver here. We used to see guys try to hit irons off the tee here, including Greg.
Well, today it's downwind, going into the wind where you can bring it into play, but they can get it so far past the bunkers now. They'll take more irons when they're going into the wind rather than downwind. Staring at it.
With concern.
Yes, with concern is right.
In the bunker.
Second mistake on the back 9. I still think the whole back 9 for him was the 4 at 12. He'll have just about the exact same shot that we watched David Frost. Probably come up pretty close to the same yardage.
Earlier, this was Mickelson's putt for par.
We're not going to tell you.
Even round, even par round, 72. But he's 7 behind the man who has been making a statement since day 1, Greg Norman.
Only one combines power and effortless performance like Fred Couples. Only one blends pinpoint control and the ability to read the terrain like Lee Trevino. Only one personifies endurance like Arnold Palmer. Only one can play like this. Seville STS with the North Star system. The great performers are always creating a higher standard.
2 major players in insuring America's homes, autos, and businesses. 2 strong, experienced leaders committed to excellence. Announcing the coming together of Travelers Indemnity and the Aetna Casualty and Surety Company. To all our customers and agents, we promise the single finest property casualty company in the game.
And you can see on the right side how the leaders have fared today. Now we can start thinking about the pairings for the final round. Should Faldo make par, at worst, it'll be Norman and Faldo again in the final twosome tomorrow, with Mickelson and Waldorf in the next to last group. What a putting performance by Greg Norman on this back 9. This was a 10 for par. Watch where most of these are dropping. This is an 11 for par. I mean, we say pouring it in out here. That means right in the center of the hole. At 11 for par, then at 12. The big moment, this for bogey.
That was the big one, Jim. That's the one that got him away from putting double bogey up.
And at 14 for par. That one a little dicey, but it found its way in. 15 for birdie, another one center cut. And 16 for birdie.
You'll never know how good that is. That's really impressive. And he's doing it so calm. He's within himself. He's not hitting peaks and valleys. He's staying right on the same plane.
Well, he's near the peak of this bunker. He's in the top part of it. Well, how about yardage here?
153, exact yardage of David Frost. Now what he has to do here, he has to pick this. He can't hit heavy like Frost. He puts the ball a little more in his stance, holds his hands back just a little bit, and catches the ball on the upswing.
Being on the upslope here will help him?
Definitely. And he doesn't take really deep divots, but this is very playable for him. Very playable for him. The best he could do. Really, he could not get it any farther up, and it will roll back. But after that tee shot, he'll be very pleased to have that ball where it is.
2-putt range, keeping it on the lower tier. That's where you'll want to be tomorrow, down on that shelf for the traditional Sunday placement. Now Nick Faldo after a good drive.
Faldo is 6 behind now, and this really is an important birdie if he can make it. This would really change the whole complexion for himself. Norman would still be leading. Not that Norman can't make that putt, but Faldo really has to take dead aim at this hole. He's got to get it on the top shelf. It's 123 yards. Downwind pitching wedge. He's usually brilliant with this shot, with that arm shot and that wonderful finish.
Great balance too. Got to sit down.
Oh my. He's exploding on these things.
You know, just when you think it's advantage Faldo on a hole like 12, you know, he makes 4. Norman
hasn't taken advantage.
15, same thing. Unable to take advantage. Greg Norman, so impressive by 6 at the moment.
It's the first thing we all reach out for, and we never really stop. When we marry, buy a home, build a career, raise a family. Even when we retire, we still reach out for something only a company like Travelers Insurance can promise. Whether it's life insurance to protect you today or annuities to enrich your tomorrows. What we all want is what Travelers Insurance provides. Something to hold on to.
So, he said he wants more control.
Oh boy.
Told me he's looking for faster response and more security.
And he's leaving the firm.
No, he's getting a Cadillac DeVille.
Now DeVille is better than ever, because now it has the Northstar system and its extraordinary combination of comfort, safety, security, and performance. Nothing else feels like DeVille from Cadillac.
I suppose he'll want a better parking space, too.
Greg Norman approaching the 18th. His whole career, he's desired this kind of reaction on Sunday at Augusta National. And with this tremendous lead, it could very possibly be his day. April 14th in his 15th year competing at the Masters at this site. In '81, when the world really first found out about Greg, he shot 69 in his debut and was one of the co-leaders. That's where he got the moniker Great White Shark. Finished 4th that first year. And ever since that time, have been anticipating that moment when he would receive that coveted green jacket.
Well, he's got one more round to play. He's in the driver's seat, as we say, but now Faldo again was in the driver's seat here with a wedge in his hand. Now he's puts himself into a difficult situation, just like Mickelson had coming down, but he got one a little more difficult than his.
And he's not going to putt it like Mickelson.
He's going to play it back in his stance, hands ahead, and just flip it on the green. That's well done. That is well done from there. Good touch.
Able to put a little spin on it, like chipping it, and likely to save par.
But par is not making up any ground on Greg Norman, but it's hard to me to believe that, thinking today, of course, of how the golf course played, but Norman started out at 12 under. He's 1 under par right now, and he has picked up shots.
Well, I mean, the first round, he tied the course record. Second round, he had the 5th best round. And today, only 9 players under par. And should he two-putt, he'd have a tie for the 4th best round of the day. So, just very consistent. Ben Crenshaw still with us in the Butler cabin. And Ben, how hard will it be for Greg tomorrow to play with such a huge lead? Is that difficult to do?
I think it's difficult here at Augusta National. And there's obviously some holes. Everyone knows that the long par 5s, you can take chances of those, but it's the other holes. It's the par 3s and the 4s that you cannot. It's very difficult to play those conservatively. But I cannot be impressed enough about how Greg has played. The ball is running for him, but there's nothing that gives you more confidence than seeing those putts go in the hole. Nothing.
You ought to know.
He's left himself another little one.
Well, when you're putting the short ones well, Ben, you can go at the long ones. I think a good short putter is also a good long putter because he's not afraid to rip it at the hole.
Well, isn't it amazing? You making those putts, believe me, you can get over to the next tee and have a free swing at it. We can't say enough about the 2 things that happened on number 12. He's gotten a get-out-of-jail-free card for the second day. But these are the things that happen when you have that ball rolling for you. But I think it's all controlled this week by a short guy. Obviously, he's played some beautiful long shots. Don't get me wrong, but this stick right here is looming large this week.
Now this for par and for 71, which has only been bettered today by Nick Price's 70, David Duval and Duffy Waldorf with 69.
Just takes his time. He just goes through the same routine, places the putter down, gets his feet, right hand on, now puts his left arm there, and watch how still. He's just so still. Nothing moves. Shoulders and club head.
Again, in the middle.
I have to agree with Ben Crenshaw. It's just impressive. I mean, it's not only that he's making them, but they are going in if the hole was half that size.
Now, Nick has to make this to get in the pairing tomorrow, so he can look eye to eye with Norman in the last round.
And he wants that. He wants to play with him again. And they will be paired tomorrow. But it will be 6 shots difference.
Greg Norman. Will tomorrow be the day of the Norman conquest at the Masters? For all of us, Jim Nance saying so long until tomorrow.
This is CBS.
That's going to wind up 40 feet away to 14.
Greg Norman from 4 feet. Ball should be right center, slightly downhill. Greg making a noticeable effort to relax his left arm, trying to get comfortable over the ball, much more than we've seen in the past few weeks. So what a birdie. Greg Norman moves into sole possession of second place, 1 shot behind Phil Mickelson. And if not the most spectacular shot we've seen today, certainly the most exciting thus far. To 16.
A moment ago, Vijay Singh, 3rd shot. Having left that first one in the bunker. That was on tape. Now here we are live. Compounding his difficulty. Back to 12.
Satoshi Higashi. Looks to be an 8-iron. This hole, we've only seen 3 hole-in-ones in Masters history here. And look at that one. Higashi trying to make it the 4th. He's at 3 over par and working his way down the ladder to 15.
And back on the tee, Greg Norman. 1 off the pace now. Lead held by Phil Mickelson. Straight ahead par 5. Reachable 500 yards. Fairly wide landing area. And they're happy with it behind Greg. And why not? Picture perfect.
Joe, what's the one?
Zeller. Fuzzy at 2 over par. Nice kick. And Fuzzy Zeller's in great shape. Back to Bill Macatee.
Setting up his birdie on the par 5. This was earlier today at 15. Put it on in 2, and this is birdie effort from about 5 feet. That moves him to -5. He follows it up at 17 from 107 yards with a sand wedge. Beautiful shot, comes back right beneath the hole. This birdie effort at 17 moves him to -6. And then at 18, after laying up with a 3-wood, a 6-iron for his approach shot. Beautifully done by Phil Mickelson. Finishes birdie to go to -7.
So Phil Mickelson with now a 1-shot lead as Greg Norman charges home at 6 under. Then Bob Tway and Scott Hoke Oak, of course, losing the playoff in '89 to Nick Faldo. Had a chance to win it on the 10th before Faldo captured the Masters on the 11th. Now to 17.
Vijay Singh on the tee. Took it down the left side by Ike's Tree, named in honor of President Eisenhower, who frequently had difficulty with that tree off the tee. Vijay missed the tree, but that's still well to the left of the fairway. Arnold Palmer earlier today made a great par from just about that same spot. He went right through Ike's Tree to 12.
That's Lauren Roberts tapping in for a bogey 4, dropping him to 1 over par. Looked to be a 7-iron and pulled it left of the green. Now Higashi, who in his first Masters appearance is over here as a result of finishing second on the Japanese Order of Merit or money list. He actually had the title before Jumbo edged him out in the last tournament. He's won 9 events over there, and meanwhile we'll go to 16.
And on the tee, Mark O'Mara. The par 3, mark at +1. And beautiful and historic par 3. Stay up. Stay up. Well, that's why that pin placement is so treacherous. Ridge that bisects this large green. Was from down in that area where Tom Watson had his 5 putts earlier today. Here's Fuzzy Zeller, second shot at the par 5 15th. Stay up. Well, Fuzzy in the water at 13 and 15. Memories of Curtis Strange to the 12th.
Higashi now for his birdie, never hit it. And a disappointing par to 16.
Payne Stewart. Hole listed at 165 today. Nicholas from there, Couples from there, now Payne Stewart back at 15 after a big drive of 330 yards. Here's Greg Norman, 170 yards out. Kenny, he seems to be almost in perfect position here.
Well, it just made for him. I think the big shot he did was at 14, but I expected him to, as he came to 13, to get to 6 under, but not quite that fast. He's got one good advantage, Vern. He can hit the ball very high, which you need coming into 15. Nothing in there coming in low and hot. You just can't hold the green, but he's short enough to be able to get the ball high, so, well, he'll play this to take it from right to left.
I'm guessing 7-iron, Ken.
I hate it. I hate to hear stories like that. Beautiful, great drive. 330 yards, that's brilliant. Staring at it.
And why not?
Just made for him, Vern. That shot was right up his alley.
6 times he's finished in the top 5. He has yet to win at Augusta at the age of 41. Let's go to 18.
And Davis Love the third after a huge drive, only 116 away. Coming off bogey at 17. He's even. Earlier, this was Scott Simpson kind of quietly moving around in 69. That makes a little statement. Now you got to start thinking about Greg Norman with that putt for eagle, with an outside chance of matching the course record here to 17.
And Vijay Singh, well left off the tee. They've moved the gallery away, and he only has 100 yards. Great disappointment the last 2 holes for Singh. 3 putts for par at 15, the double bogey with bunker trouble at 16. Now a chance for birdie at 17. To 15.
And at the 15th, Greg Norman, Fuzzy Zeller. Fuzzy in the water with his second shot, so he's hitting 4 now. That from 95 yards away. And the applause is for Greg Norman as he walks on the green. Birdied 7, 8, and 9, parred 10 and 11. And birdies on the last 3 holes. So birdies in 6 of the last 8 holes. In his 16th Masters. This would be by far his best opening round. His first appearance here in 1981, he opened with a 69, and Peter Kostis was saying it's always been the first round that has been a problem for him. Not today. And the applause for 1979 Masters champion Fuzzy Zeller. Last man to win here in his first appearance. And we go to 18.
Colin Montgomery. Many people thought this would be his week. He's even par. There's a birdie putt on the way. Pretty good run. $17.
That's Corey Pavin from the 15th fairway. And that's well played, considering where he was. He couldn't see the flagstick from where he was. Just now walking up over the hill and back down the slope to the green. We'll talk about the wide fairways here at the Augusta National. But Singh and Pavin both missed by a wide margin to 15.
Now Fuzzy Zeller will be first. And this is his effort at par. Fuzzy for the moment at 2 over. Good effort. Zeller will drop a stroke and go to +3. We go to 18.
At the birdie putt, Davis Love. Runner-up here last year. He will turn 32 on Saturday. 72 is the opening round score. To 15.
This is for the lead for Greg Norman. What a run he's had beginning at the 7th hole. Again, what about the putt?
Well, the one thing, Vern, here is he's 6 under, as you see there on the board. He's got a good chance at eagle, but you can't get aggressive here. This is not an aggressive putt. You get the line, and then everything now depends on speed, and he can't get rushing this. He has to feed it down there, and if it does go in, it has to be going very slow, because once it gets by the hole, it picks up some speed. So he's well aware of that, but he has a marvelous touch for, as far as he can drive it, he can really have a wonderful touch around the greens.
For the lead.
break. No. But he knew what he wanted to do. He had it there.
I think he did exactly as you suggested.
Yeah, he had to
protect the birdie, Kenny, right?
You're absolutely right, Vern. You just don't walk away with 5. You got the momentum. Don't make worse than 4. And he did exactly what he wanted to do. There was a great speed there.
And we go to 17.
And Vijay Singh putting for birdie. And a tap-in par for Singh. He'll remain at 2 under. After the double bogey at 16. Corey Pavin also has a tap-in for par here at 17. And we head back to 15.
Norman for birdie. And we have 2 at the top now. Phil Mickelson and Greg Norman. Mickelson in the clubhouse at the round of 65. Greg Norman at -7 with 3 to play here in the first round of the 1996 Masters from Augusta.
Once you feel the freedom of Eldorado's 32-valve, 275-horsepower Northstar V8, you'll be able to do things you've always wanted to do. Like go to your brother-in-law's house. Just to rub it in. Eldorado with the Northstar system. By Cadillac. See your Cadillac dealer today.
It's in all of us. The basic human instinct to protect oneself and one's future by holding on to life's certainties. For more than 130 years, Travelers Insurance has answered this basic need. With the comfort of our experience, the strength of our assets, the security of our products. What we all want is what Travelers Insurance provides. Something to hold on to.
Back at the 16th on the tee, the co-leader, Greg Norman. That's going to stay well below the hole. Well, all in all, Ken, better to be down there than above the hole, right?
There's no doubt. He's thinking so well. If you're going to miss it on the right side. You don't want to miss it in the back bunker where Vijay Singh. You don't want to miss the green right. He's playing so smart. He is right on gear.
And Fuzzy Zeller. Except there he is above the hole. Let's see if it stays up. Boy, he's got to play a lot of break from that spot.
Hey, Vern.
Yes, Ken.
It's the only time that you can watch a ball roll and read the name at the same time.
Greg Norman, Fuzzy Zeller. And we go to the 18th.
Courtney Sherry, the British amateur champion. Some kind of talent, but not a standout day today. That's 78. 6'8", the tallest player in Masters history. Back to 16.
Wonderful gallery gathered here at this gorgeous 16th hole as Greg Norman and Fuzzy Zeller approach the green. And they do have an appreciation and understanding of the kind of round that Greg Norman is stringing together. Course record held by Nick Price, third round, 1986. Nick had a 63. 2 birdies in the final 3 holes, and he shares that record with Nick Price. But Ken, if he birdies this hole, that's a big bonus.
I would call that hitting the jackpot or hitting the lotto. I mean, from down there again, he will be thinking one thing: two-putt, the speed, the line, but get the line, then get the speed, give a little more break. But he still has 17, 18 to play, but he's been playing so well, thinking well, and this is why you play Augusta National well, is that it's a thinking man's golf course.
And given Kenny his history here, especially in early rounds, don't you think this is just an enormous hurdle for him to overcome?
Well, it's going to be his best round by far, and it's hard to believe that his best first round was 69, but this is a man you don't want in front of you because he's going to run away and hide on you. Hey, this guy can really run. Look what he did at the TPC when he went away, when he played that fabulous tournament. He knows his game, and he loves his golf courses. You can't get a better combination.
Twice a runner-up, third last year, as we said, 6 times in the top 5. But never a winner yet.
Again, even uphill, you have to hit this harder. But again, this is not an aggressive putt. If you're going to leave it anywhere, leave it under the hole. You don't want to put it by 3-4 feet because now you're looking at a very delicate putt. So I don't expect this to get past the hole.
Watson 5-putted earlier today. Guilford, Gary Player with 4 putts on this hole.
Perfect. Just what you're looking at.
Yes,
as I said, don't go by, keep it under the hole. And I know he also enjoys playing with Zeller. I think they have a great combination there. They both enjoy each other's company. That helps also.
Mm-hmm.
Because Zeller is not playing his best, but you can never tell. You can't tell what he's shooting, 85 or 55. You couldn't tell by looking at him.
I'm not sure Fuzzy sometimes knows. Now watch this putt.
You want to talk about some speed. Watch this break on this, Vern, of course you've been there, but look where he's going to aim this thing. And
yeah, he's got to play about a 3-foot break, Ken, and then just speed is absolutely critical, or he's down the hill.
Anytime you get above it like that, speed is critical, Vern, you're right. Wow, how about that? Now you go in. He needed that, and makes the hardest putt he probably had all day, Vern.
That is so good. Great stuff.
You haven't seen many Tuesday today, have you?
Not at all. And look, his demeanor doesn't change much at all.
What do you make? I don't know. I can't tell.
Now, Greg Norman for a 3. Nice 3. Well, the 10th hole has been a nemesis for Greg Norman historically here at Augusta. He lost 2 tournaments by poor play at the 10th. But let's go back and see what he did at 10 earlier. Peter Kostis, Bill Macatee.
All right, Vern, thank you very much. This was the bunker shot. And Peter, when Greg Norman thinks back on his round today, this may be the shot he remembers.
I think it was undoubtedly the most crucial shot of his round. He came off with birdies at 7, 8, and 9, hung his approach shot to the right, had an incredibly difficult shot, and played it superbly. It saved par. It may just win him a Masters.
So co-leaders, Mickelson and Norman, and 2 shots back, Tway and Hoke. And 2 other scores of note. Ben Crenshaw opens defense of his Masters championship today with a 77. Fred Couples, a 78 today.
Overall, the score is a little bit lower than the players had thought going into today. Davis Love off to a reasonable start at level par. Seve Ballesteros finally found some fairways wide enough.
To 17.
Fuzzy Zeller's tee shot on the way. Uphill tee shot. Then the 17th hole flattens out. And Fuzzy has dissected the fairway. Meanwhile, at the green, Payne Stewart winces as his birdie putt. Drifted by the right edge to 18.
VJ with a chance for birdie. For 69. Yes. To 17.
Greg Norman. Greg needs a birdie finish to tie the course record of 63 held by Nick Price. Well played down the right side of the fairway. He'll have a short second shot to this par 4. It's 215.
And Ernie Els in the fairway, 185 yards. Second shot. Ernie at 2 under. Stayed up. Oh boy.
Where's that? That's short, man. It's, yeah.
That'll put wrinkles in your face. Yeah, it's still up. At 16, here's Ian Woosnam, Masters champion. Woozy down near where Greg Norman was. Let's go to 18.
And that's Payne Stewart with a fine tee shot. Payne at +2. Back to 16.
Alexander Schecke from Germany, his first Masters appearance. Even par. Just does avoid the bunker right. Ian Woosnam, a winner here in 1991. And we go to 13.
Look here again at 13 with the shadows beginning to fall. Higashi for 5 now. He hit it back of the green, putted down to here, and walks away with par. And that's Lauren Robertson saying it walks away with par to be at 1 over par. Higashi, who was in the back of the green, I mean, and then pitched down to here, has got this for par. So no birdies in this group we've had. We've had 3 eagles today, only that's the most difficult pin placement to get eagles when you don't have much green to work with. And almost 1/2 of the field have birdied the hole. Played 4.5 last year, second easiest hole on the golf course. Higashi now for 5. And a good save. He's now par 10, 11, 12, and 13, but goes to the 14th tee, 3 over par as we go to 17.
Greg Norman. Norman tying his second from 115 yards. Hole cut right behind the front bunker, just 12 feet off the front edge of the green. And Greg's not sure about the club.
See that wind again? The wind is supposed to be helping off the right-hand side here. That's the predominant wind.
I heard Tony say the wind's supposed to be helping, and for most of this day it has been, but right now the flag is hanging straight down the stick. Virtually no breeze. Most players trying to land this just behind the flag stick and spin it back. Just what Norman has done. Almost perfectly pin high. And he'll have 8 feet for a birdie that he needs. He is to finish birdie and tie the course record. Ken and Vern were talking about this pairing. Norman enjoys playing with Zeller. They've probably run out of things to talk about. This is the 4th time in the last 6 weeks that they've been together in the first 2 rounds of a tournament. We head to 15.
Ernie Els, the for eagle. Oh, that's much too strong. And now he's exactly where he does not want to be, above the hole. And we go to 18.
At Payne Stewart, we saw that tee shot. Excellent position, 9-iron in hand from 140 yards. Stays up.
At 16, here's Ian Woosnam. That was for bogey. Woosie 3-putted the hole, so he drops back to -1. Now back at 15. Els for birdie. Ernie playing in his 3rd Masters. Made his first appearance here in '94 and finished 8th. That was the year, of course, that he won the U.S. Open. Last year, missed the cut. Opened with 72 and 75. At the par. And not what he envisioned when he stood over his second shot. Let's go to 17.
And the long birdie putt of Fuzzy Zeller. It's a great angle to show you the undulation of this green. And nicely done. Tapped in for par for Zeller. He only had 120 yards from the middle of the fairway, but his approach landed on the downslope and kicked from the front of the green all the way to the back to 15.
Hale Irwin. From 215, 2-iron.
Get out. Oh, get out.
Whoops.
Get down.
Yeah, it got down. That's fine. I think he was afraid he'd overcooked it, but not at all. To 17.
Now the Shark stalking a birdie putt. It would be his 5th birdie in the last 6 holes, his 7th in the last 10 holes. He's played a bogey-free round to this point. And this putt is for the outright lead. At the moment, he's tied with Phil Mickelson. Greg Norman heads to the 18th tee with a chance to tie the course record with a birdie. He's at 8 under through 17 holes in his first round. Norman, who missed the cut in the last 2 events he's played on tour this year, took advantage of the time off to work with his instructor Butch Harmon, and obviously that work has paid off. 16.
Else tee shot. Going right. Hole high. That's terrific. And we go to 18.
Well, 64 is the lowest round, first round. And Masters history's Lloyd Bangram, 1940. Mike Donald, 1990. Both shot 64 in the first round. That's the first round record. You can match that with par.
12 real still back there, please, sir. Get your target now, Greg.
But one better, and he'll have a piece of the Nick Price record set 10 years ago in the third round. That's a driver. They love it. He shaped it too, you could tell. We'll make a run at that record. All systems go today for Greg Norman, who was saying before the tournament started that he would rate himself a 7, a strong 7, he said, out of 10 right now. I think it's better than that. No doubt. And superb for Zeller as well as we had the 16.
And the 1982 Masters champ, Craig Stadler. That's good. Craig had an eagle to open his round at the second hole today, but things haven't gone well since then. Not the case for Greg Norman. Things have been superb, and he's in good shape playing the final hole with a 1-shot lead over Phil Mickelson. Bob Tway and Scott Hoke are 3 back of the lead.
Some people see the world of financial services as it is. Others see it as it can be. Bolder, more creative, easier and faster to travel. Able to offer new products and services by combining the best thinking of the best minds in investing, insuring, and lending. The companies of Travelers Group share the vision. Travelers Insurance, Commercial Credit, Primerica Financial Services, Travelers Bank, Smith Barney.
So, he said he wants more control.
Oh, boy.
Told me he's looking for faster response and more security.
Then he's leaving the firm.
No. He's getting a Cadillac DeVille.
Now DeVille is better than ever because now it has the Northstar system and its extraordinary combination of comfort, safety, security, and performance. Nothing else feels like DeVille from Cadillac.
I suppose he'll want a better parking space, too.
Greg Norman heads to 18 with a 1-shot lead in the first round of the 1996 Masters. Phil Mickelson played earlier today, a 65. As you look at Norman, let's send you to the 15.
And Hale Irwin for eagle. That's badly misread. Yeah, I know. My eyes too, Hale. Irwin, who first played in this event in 1971. Had that terrific battle last week with Jack Nicklaus, as a matter of fact, out in Scottsdale. And is it 1 over now? He'll mark. And we go to 18.
We have Fuzzy 144 and Norman 140 yards to the hole. To give you an idea how far Tiger Woods hits it, he had 112 from our spotters. Almost 30 yards past the tee shot of Norman, back to 16.
And Ernie Els for birdie. Delicate little putt. Just, it's frightening. To 18.
Talk about frightening. How about what Norman's doing today? First Fuzzy.
Bounced left somehow.
Hung it out a bit, but that's certainly acceptable.
Okay, Bud. It's a good swing. It's just 4 yards on top of that ridge. 41 hole.
That last word of encouragement from Tony Navarro. Just put a good swing on it. Swinging an 8-iron.
Good swing, Greg.
Now that's a tough putt from that location. Been misread almost all day. Most of the players, almost all of them, have missed that putt to the left. But Norman will have a shot at it to match the Nick Price course record of 63. Boy, he'd love to have the same walk on Sunday in the final group, still on fire like he is today. Off to the greatest start in Masters history. 2 putts, he'll match the greatest start. Should he hole it? Well, 63 has never happened in the first round. It's always been said this is a course tailor-made for Norman. Let's go to 16.
And a man who's been a fixture for a number of years here at Augusta. Here's Jumbo Ozaki in his 21st Masters.
Go. Go. Go.
Yes, it was a very good shot. It went. To 17.
And a moment ago, Alexander Cheka from 115 yards, playing in his first Masters. And an excellent shot. He's looking right back down the slope at a birdie putt. That would get him back to even. We head back to 16.
And Hale Irwin parred the 15th hole. And we go to 18.
All right, Greg Norman surveys. Ken Venturi has arrived at 18. What a phenomenal day it's been for this man.
Oh, it's been excellent. I said, Jimmy, he's been faced with a lot of putts of the same speed, same above the hole, but he has really managed the golf course so well. And then again, this is one of the putts that you look at, it's total speed. And it's just a feeder. It's not hard to get the break on this. It's just to get the speed again. When it gets to the hole, it shouldn't be going very fast. .63 would be nice, but you don't want to put it by, walk off with a bogey. You'd like to have that par and put that 64 on the board.
What a stroke.
There you have it. You've seen it all. Amazing, dead center cut.
Greg Norman has tied the Augusta National record. A 63. The greatest start in Masters history.
How about beating your best first round by 6 strokes?
Yeah, and that was actually accomplished by Norman the first time he played here a competitive round, 1981. Since 81, when he shot 69 in the first round, he had never broken 70 in the first round since, until today. Fuzzy.
Keep going. Keep your speed. You'll get it. Go. That's almost the kind of putt I thought that Greg Norman might have hit, but boy, what a great touch.
That's a 2 over par 74.
I've always felt this is a golf course made for Greg Norman. I just felt that before this time that he would have had at least 1 Masters under his belt, but with a round of 63, he's closer to it.
The #1 ranked player in the world. He took that ranking away from Nick Price last year. Price held the record alone. He set it back in 1986 on Saturday's 3rd round, but Greg Norman now joins in history.
That would have gone in if it was a thimble. That's about as center cut as you're ever going to see a putt go in.
A 9 under par. Not something you expect to see on Thursday at Augusta National. Amazing.
Only one defined agility like Edwin Moses. Only one embodied control like Evelyn Ashford. Only one personified endurance like Frank Shorter. Only one runs like this. Seville STS with the North Star system. The great performers are always creating a higher standard.
Two major players in ensuring America's homes, autos, and businesses. Two strong, experienced leaders committed to excellence. Announcing the coming together of Travelers Indemnity and the Aetna Casualty and Surety Company. To all our customers and agents, we promise the single finest property casualty company in the game.
Ernie Els out of the bunker here at 17, and we head to 15.
David Duval with his bid for Eagle, which, if successful, would be the 3rd of the day. David comes in having bogeyed the 14th, and he is even par. Fellow competitor is Justin Leonard, who missed his bid for eagle as well. Justin is at 1 under par. A couple of the outstanding young players who are part of this sport now. And we go to 18.
That's the second shot for Sheika. Yeah, he didn't like it, but it stays up.
Tell you what, if that's as bad as it gets, you're not going to be very bad.
Ian Woosnam, meanwhile, 172.
You know, it's going to be a bit short of the flag, but that's what you're going to play for. As long as he's helping, that's fine.
Remember the year that he won, Jimmy blew it right over the top of the bunker off the tee and then came up from the left-hand side. He's from 172 yards. That's right to the hole. Trying to bring it in right to left.
Nice.
Boy, he left that out. Way out. That's bunker right. That is a long way to the right.
Caught in Greg Norman's wake.
He is right.
To 15.
And Justin Leonard for birdie. Oh, dear. That keeps him at -1 in his second appearance here. We go to 17.
Ernie Els knew right away he had missed his par putt. It's a very disappointing bogey. Ernie only had 95 yards. With his second shot, dumped it in the bunker. And a moment ago, Craig Stadler for birdie. And he had an inkling that it might find the bottom of the cup, as it did, to get him back to +1. 15.
And David Duvall for a 4. Get back to red figures.
Right away.
+1 right out. To 17.
Cale Irwin's tee shot. Passes by Ike's tree and is perfect.
At 18, this sets up usually just right for Stadler.
That has to be overcut. He plays from left to right. He has to put that in the trees. Oop, little kick out there. Might get away with it.
You could hear club meat bag. Ernie Els. 1 under.
1 under. He's good news, 1 under. Bad news, he's 8 shots behind. But this is only Thursday, Jimmy. Here's another fella you'd have to bet that's going to put a green jacket on one day.
This is the first time you've ever had to talk about a 10-shot rule in the first round.
There it goes, taking left to right, right off the bunker. I see more players today and this year hitting drivers. Usually they've been hitting irons or 3-woods off the tee, and they're putting that driver on there to get up there as far as they can.
Up ahead, this is Woosnam from the sand. He'll have that putt to finish in red figures. 91 winner here. He's been playing well over in Europe. Won a couple of tournaments already this year.
If you look at that putt that he has, that's just a slight bit longer, but that's the exact same angle, everything. The pin was in the same place when he won on Sunday here, when he won the tournament. A little right to left break, and he knocked it right in the hole. Hole today, 75 feet from the front of the green and only 15 feet from the left-hand edge.
Sheika with a putt for birdie. Could bring him in at 72, first to 16.
And David Duvall. And he did birdie that last hole and is -1 in his first appearance at Augusta. That's fine. Terrific. David, who grew up in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, attended college at Georgia Tech. and his fellow competitor out of Dallas and the University of Texas, Justin Leonard.
You know, Vern, if you look at the 16th green, collectively today might have been the most putts ever taken on one green.
Okay. Absolutely, Kenny. Back to 18.
For birdie.
Gotta go.
Left the flag stick in, too. 16.
Justin Leonard.
Get up.
To 18.
Woozy for par.
Stay up. Good putt, just lost the speed. But there's never a good putt that stays out.
17.
Hale Irwin from 125.
Go in.
Nice shot. Hale's 2 over. An excellent chance for birdie here. Back to 18.
Is for par.
Round of 73 today. That's where you talked about your 10-shot rule? Is that what you meant there, Jimmy?
Which applies starting tomorrow. Let's go to 17.
Jumbo Ozaki after a jumbo drive. This is from just 85 yards. And it spins back, but Irwin is closer to 18.
Got a better break here than he had feared.
Well, he couldn't see it off the tee, but that is a good break on 148.
Sit down.
That's going to be a little delicate little shot right there. That tells it all. You don't have to explain the shot.
I wish he'd let you know how you feel, how he feels sometimes.
Yeah, get it off your chest. Let us know. Now, Ernie Else at 142. Such an advantage here to be able to put the ball up in the air. Norman's able to do it. Nicholas did it for years. And the amazing thing about these players, they can pick up so much yardage being able to move it from right to left.
A beautiful, graceful swing. It's right behind the hole. And another little delicate putt coming up for Else, who's 1 under.
Great trajectory for that shot, Jimmy. He gets that up there.
Both Norman and Mickelson shoot 30 on the back 9 today. Greg Norman has matched the course record at Augusta National. A striking 63 to lead by 2.
If one more worker makes it through the day safely, still able to embrace a waiting child, still able to see the work that lies ahead. If one more accident never happens, then Travelers has done its job. We've made your job more secure. In business, as in life, what we all need, insurance from Travelers provides. Something to hold on to.
Lower your right foot and repeat after me. I promise to be free. I promise to be different. I promise to take the other path. I promise to be unique. I promise to drive an Eldorado with a 300 horsepower Northstar V8, a suspension that reads faster than Evelyn Wood, and a body that parts traffic. Eldorado with the Northstar system by Cadillac.
Greg Norman, a 63 today. And a 2-shot lead from Phil Mickelson, Bob Tway, and Scott Hoke finished the day at 5 under. But Norman today with birdies at 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, and 18. Let's go to the play at the 15.
Lauren Roberts, who's at even par. This is for Eagle. Roberts goes to 2 under with the 3rd eagle of the day. He finished 5th here 2 years ago. Lauren in his 4th appearance at Augusta. And let's go back to the studio.
All right, Vern, thank you very much. As you can see, we've been joined now by Greg Norman, 63 today. And I have to tell you, in watching you out on the golf course today, and especially with you sitting by the pond at the 13th waiting for the guys in front of you to hit up, there just seemed to be something different about you today. Did you sense that?
I don't know whether there was anything different about me. I felt very relaxed. I felt very in control. I came in here not feeling really good with the way I was swinging. I was a little bit stiff and sore, and I spent a good quiet time yesterday. I spent some good quality time with Butch Harmon, who has been in here for 3 days with me. So when I woke up this morning, I felt pretty good. I felt loose. I felt relaxed, and I was really looking forward to it. And the key to this golf course is the first 5 or 6 holes. It's just a shame that people don't get to see how difficult those holes really are. And when I played those 5 or 6 holes the way I did, I played them very solid, and I missed a couple of makeable birdie putts. And but when I got through them, I got to the 6th hole, I said, now I'm feeling very good about for the rest of the day, because I felt my momentum was going through there, even though I only made putts.
Birdies at 7, 8, and 9 made the turn at 33, but Peter and I were talking about the 10th hole and that great sand save that you made there.
Yeah, that was my first. I made two bad decisions all day today. That was my second shot into 10. I had 168 yards, and you don't want to be over the back of that green or long on that putt, because it's extremely fast coming down that hill, and it was a big A time for me. The breeze was just pushing us a little bit right to left, and that was my one bad swing I made all day. One of the two, but and I just left it out to the right, which is not too bad considering as great as bunker sand these bunkers have in them.
Well, let's take a look at some of your play today, and we'll start with the 9th. You came in here at 2 under. This was for birdie.
Well, this one here, I mean, this is off memory here, it's just going to be taken down towards Rays Creek and just started anywhere just outside the left edge.
And then, of course, the sand save at the 10th, and now on the tee at the 12th.
Well, we had, I think my memory is right, 153 yards to the flag there. It was just a nice, smooth 7-iron, and that's all I did. I think I hit a 7-iron there. It was a 7-iron. Maybe it was an 8-iron. I can't remember which one it was, but I did hit an 8-iron there. So, that's all it was. Just put it underneath the hole.
And now for birdie.
They're the nice ones to capitalize. It's so quiet over there on that green. Nobody, I mean, by the time they start clapping you, it's all over and done with. You're walking halfway to the tee.
Good break on this tee shot. It cleared that, just went around that little tree and actually left you a pretty good angle into this hole.
Well, Peter, that's where to drive it. I'm not going to try and hook it around that tree, because if you aim dead straight at the tree or the cameraman right on the corner there, you actually have a perfectly flat lie up there. There's a little bit of a cushiony piece of fairway there, and that is the best way. If I hook it around there, that means I've hit a bad shot. I'm going to try and put it in that position every day I play there, because I think that's the prime place to attack this green, because the green really sits at you a little bit more the further you hit it right and the longer you go.
And that was for birdie to get you to -5, and now
this is a great shot there. I had 220, 202 to the front. I just played a little bump 4-iron, and I was worried about the mound about 20 yards short of the green, and I just said if I cleared that, I'm okay, and just got enough momentum to get to the top of the hill there, and the rest is history. Gravity takes over from here, and it rained, and Rays Creek is down there, and obviously the people reacting the way they were, I knew it was going to be close. But it was all set up by the tee shot, though.
Kicking out from the trees, and now at 15.
Oh, this is just a good solid 7-iron from 183 yards, and I just aimed at the left-hand pine tree. I didn't want to even think of the flag, because if you just pull a little bit, the green goes away from you a little bit more. So I took my medicine there, put it exactly where I wanted to put it, and this putt here is extremely quick, and I actually thought I made it. About 3 feet short of the hole, it was just on the right line. I hit the mark what I was aiming at, and just there, it just broke a little bit more than what I thought.
And now to the 17th, and this was for birdie to get to -8.
Well, this is just a ball outside the left edge. Just, again, it's just so pure, so fast. Just make sure the ball starts on line, and there you go.
And to the 18th.
Well, Well, this one here I felt really good about because I don't know why there was just a spike mark exactly on my line that I needed to hit. And as good as I was rolling it, I said, just hit that spike mark and you'll make it. And I didn't even think about the course record. I had no idea what it was. I knew it was 63, but I wasn't thinking about it. And as I was putting that putt, it was amazing. There's a balloon that was coming right up on my line. Just coming out. Every time I looked up to the hole, there was this huge balloon coming up there. I said, oh my God, just focus on the back of the ball. Don't look at the balloon.
Considering the difficulties that you've had sometimes in the opening rounds, did you ever think that you might finish your career without getting a good start here at Augusta National?
You know, I think if you look at the history of a lot of players, there's been a lot of players who don't get off to a good start, and and the same players get off to a good start every now and then. You know, it's a golf tournament where you can lose at the first round by shooting a poor score, and you can keep yourself in it by shooting an average to good score. And, you know, anything under 70 or around 70 days, you're definitely in the tournament because, you know, you can see how the golf course, the guys have given up some good scores here. So, you know, it's not the fact that you, I never think about that. I just go out there and try my best on the first day. If it doesn't work out, if I shoot a 72, 73, 74, as I've shot in 75s in the past, but, you know, those things happen in many other tournaments as well.
Greg Norman, congratulations. 63.
Thank
Off
you.
to a terrific start.
Thank you.
All right. So already a spectacular day here at Augusta National. Let's send you to the play at the 16th.
Lauren Roberts, fresh from the Eagle at 15.
No.
Whoops.
Nichols.